Look at this wall of color. These aren't CGI gradients. These are real fish that you can actually keep in your home aquarium. But here's the twist. People think colorful fish means only expensive species, and that's not true at all. Some of the most stunning freshwater colors are actually surprisingly accessible. So before you go buy the same basic fish everyone else buys, watch this list. Because the species in here might shock you. All I ask in return is that you click the subscribe button. I've spent years studying fish keeping, not in a lab, but in real tanks that crashed, succeeded, evolved, and taught me what truly works. And here's what I learned. Color in an aquarium isn't about luck. It's about choosing species with the right DNA for visual impact. Because most people buy fish based on what the store clerk recommends, but that usually ends in a tank that looks just okay. And that's a waste, especially when you could create something cinematic, something unforgettable, even in a small aquarium. So this list matters. If you choose wrong, you'll end up with beige fish. If you choose right, your tank becomes a moving painting. And by the way, if you want gear that actually elevates the look of your tank instead of making it look cheap, there's a brand I personally recommend. They offer discounts through my referral link in the description. Let's start with Guppies because they're not just colorful, they're unpredictable in the best way. Guppies are like rolling dice with genetics. You buy 3, but 1 month later you might have 20, all with slightly different patterns. Brilliant reds, metallic blues, fluorescent yellows, even gradients that look unreal. But here's the twist. Beginners assume common equals boring. And that's where they're wrong. Guppies are common because they are one of the most genetically explosive fish in the hobby. If you feed them well, give them minerals, and keep them in a group, your tank becomes a slow-motion storm of color and movement. But if you ignore water quality and let them inbreed without selection, the color collapses. So, Guppies reward attention. They punish neglect. And if you do it right, you don't just keep Guppies. You learn how color is created in real time. Now let's talk about the Neon and the Cardinal Tetra, because these two species are the closest thing to neon LED strips that nature ever made. They look similar at first glance, but the difference is subtle and important. The Cardinal has a red line all the way into the tail. The Neon stops halfway, and that tiny detail is everything. Because when you put them in a planted tank, the Cardinals look more saturated. But here's the catch. More saturated doesn't always mean better. Sometimes the softer transition of the Neon actually pops more against darker green backgrounds. So the right choice depends on your scape. If your plants are light green, Cardinals explode visually. If your plants are deep green, Neons create contrast instead of blending. And that's the lesson here. The fish is not the aesthetic. The relationship between color and environment is what creates the aesthetic. Discus are not just fish, they're statements. These are the species that make people stop mid-sentence and stare. Their color doesn't scream, it radiates. Slow, calm, elegant. But here's the problem. Most beginners think Discus are impossible, and therefore they never even consider them. That belief kills the possibility before the dream ever starts. The truth is simpler. They're not fragile, they're just specific. Warm water, stable parameters, real food. If you treat them like Neon Tetras, they fail. But if you treat them like Discus, they reward you with color that looks hand-painted. And nothing fills space like a group of full-grown Discus gliding through plants. They're not casual fish, they're aspirational fish. Keeping them isn't just an aquarium choice. It becomes a personal milestone where the tank stops being decoration and becomes identity. The betta is drama in a single body. Color, shape, movement, all concentrated into one fish that looks like it was designed for slow-motion cinematography. But there's a trap here. People think bettas are easy because they see them in tiny cups at pet stores. That's not ease, that's marketing. A betta treated like a decoration will look dull and lifeless. A betta treated like a real fish in a heated, filtered aquarium with space to breathe becomes a living explosion of color. Long fins, saturated hues, attitude in every turn. And here's the real secret. Bettas are not just fish for beginners. They are a masterclass in how environment shapes beauty. If you choose tank mates carefully and build the right stage, A betta becomes the lead actor, not the problem. What do you think? Leave a comment while you're watching. I'll reply to all of them. Rainbow fish are proof that color doesn't need to be neon to be powerful. It just needs to shift. Because rainbow fish don't have static color, they shimmer. They transition. They change depending on angle, light, and movement. And that's why they're hypnotic. A basmani in full color looks like a gradient slider, blue or violet in the front, orange in the back, like two different fish fused into one. But here's the twist. Rainbow fish don't sell themselves instantly in stores. In a store, they look average. At home, in real space, real light, real water, they transform. They're the classic example of delayed payoff. You don't buy what they look like today, you buy what they'll become. And for aquariums larger than 30 gallons, a group of rainbow fish doesn't just add color. It creates motion with emotional payoff. The more space they have, the more beauty they give back. The German blue ram is the kind of fish that forces you to slow down because every inch of its body looks intentional. Electric blues, orange accents, black markings that look like hand-painted symbols. But here's the interesting part. Rams aren't loud like bettas, and they're not gradient-based like rainbow fish. Their color feels like concentrated pigment, like the saturation slider was pushed to the maximum, but only where nature wanted. And because they stay small, they become the perfect centerpiece for mid-sized planted tanks. But they're not passive. They have personality. They have moments of confidence and moments of vulnerability. They're proof that tiny can still carry presence. And this is something most beginners never realize. The emotional impact of a German blue ram isn't in the size, it's in the contrast. Small fish with colors that feel disproportionately big. Subtle movement with colors that behave like fireworks. The Electric Blue Acara is one of those fish that makes people stop mid-sentence. The glow isn't pastel, it isn't metallic, it's something in between. A neon blue that feels alive, like it's being generated in real time. They're bigger than a German blue ram, but more peaceful than most medium cichlids. And that creates a very strange psychological moment, because your brain expects aggression, but what you actually get is calm confidence. But here's something most people don't think about. What happens when iridescent blue isn't just a color, but an identity? Because the Acara isn't bright by accident. In the right lighting, it becomes reflective, almost holographic, and that gives the aquarium a cinematic layer of dimension that most fish simply can't produce. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a particular color interaction between the Acara and certain background tones that almost nobody talks about, and that's exactly what I want you to pay attention to in the final part of this video. So here's the truth. The Electric Blue Acara doesn't just represent color, it represents identity. Because some fish don't shout to be seen. They shine when the environment finally matches who they are. And that's us too. We look average in the wrong context and unforgettable in the right one. Click the video that appears on screen to learn more. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.